incredible play. So he faced the minimum batters in a 9-inning complete game, pitching what they call a Maddox. That means he threw less than 100 pitches. And even at that, he had 15 strikeouts. That's insane. That's one of the first times anything like that has ever happened. Come back Saturday, Yamamoto, the great pitcher for the Dodgers, had a no-hitter, a perfect game, I should say, going into the 8th inning. Mookie Betts had an error, so then he was going for a no-hitter, and the White Sox got a home run in the 9th to spoil that. But still, that was an incredible performance. On Saturday night, you had the NBA Finals, and it was a victory for the New York Knicks, coming back again as they did in all of their wins in the series to beat the Spurs 4-1. The Spurs pulled off, really, I know there's some Spurs fans in our audience, one of the epic choke jobs probably of NBA Finals history, where they had 4 games where it looked like they really were going to win and then just could not hold the lead. And what a story Jalen Brunson is, the sensational point guard, shooting guard for the Knicks, undersized guy. So here you had one of the smallest players in the NBA outshining the tallest player in the NBA, Victor Wembanyama. And it was just a really cool thing to watch. First NBA championship for the city of New York since 1973. And, of course, what do people do? They go out in the streets and destroy stuff. A bunch of morons. But for the players themselves, that was a fun team to watch. Really enjoy that. Last night, you had the Stanley Cup championship. And Carolina team was able to defeat Las Vegas and secure the Stanley Cup. As I mentioned, we had UFC Freedom 250. We have the World Cup that's still going on right now, and the U.S. team looked really good the other night, so a lot of fans were happy about that. It's just still amazing as you continue to watch fans as they're here in America now just enjoying the sports activities and all the things associated with it. Just incredible stories. Last night, the viral video that was going around, all the Japanese fans that were at their team's soccer match after the game, they were cleaning up the stadium. They were cleaning up all the trash. So I guess that's a thing in Japan, not so much here in the U.S., but it is amazing to see how those different cultures are intersecting right now. And, of course, the guy we talked about on Friday, Freddie from Spain and his bros, they made it to Houston. That was their destination. And when they got there, they found out that J.J. Watt, the now retired all-pro defender from the Houston Texans, had rented them rooms at one of the top hotels in Houston and had it fully stocked with food and other things. So that has been a phenomenal follow on X if you're following along with that. Oof, I'm not even done yet. On Saturday over at Spirits, we had Glenn Gilbo there signing his Skip It Bertman book, and Warren Morris was there with him, had a chance to stop by and visit with both of them. And they had a great turnout. A lot of folks showed up and we're carrying out stacks of books, so that was cool to see. So, yeah, kind of a pretty good weekend. Stephen, how was your weekend?
Oh, I didn't do anything fun.
Stephen bringing the energy this morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Glad everyone had fun. I was having no fun.
Just Stephen was sick this weekend.
Yeah. It's like my normal state of life now.
Yeah, I ran into your mom and your brother at Target on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, well, I guess you weren't going to go see Stephen today, were you? And they're like, yeah, we were, but they're sick. Like, your brother said, again.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I love your brother. He's such a cool guy.
He's
growing up, man.
Yeah, I guess he's 20 now. I think we're just catching everything that the daycare has to throw at us. People say, like, oh, it's good for your daughter's immune system, but what about mine?
What about yours?
Apparently mine doesn't work. So.
Yeah, you need to start taking, like, echinacea or something.
Yeah, I will. I'll do whatever.
Start building up.
I'll take ivermectin at this point. Hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin soup.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I don't care anymore.
I Gotcha.
I'll drink bleach. It might kill it.
So are you a person, have you watched, like, a lot of UFC at all?
No, I kind of hate it. And not anything to do politically. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a hater. It's just not. I don't like it.
Right.
Yeah. I'd rather people bash their heads in with helmets.
Like football. Now, it has, for those that haven't watched it or aren't too familiar, it has kind of the same energy as pro wrestling a little bit, like with kind of the walkout music and the gladiator type approach to it, but it's, of course, way more real. I mean, WWE athletes, those guys are performing athletic competition more according to a script, I guess you would say. I mean, they're they're insane what they can do athletically. There's no doubt. But these guys are out there, and I mean, they are inflicting pain on each other. There was one guy, um, big dude. The guy got him like in the arm bar, I think they call it, where he kind of had his arm extended and he was like yanking on it with his leg. I'm like, okay, that would separate my arm from the shoulder in like 2 seconds, and he's enduring it for like a minute until the bell rings. I'm like, I couldn't do it. The last match that I mentioned with Gaethje, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He had the dude's face so beat up at one point. I think it was Joe Rogan said there's bones sticking out of his face. And I'm like, okay, this is new. But I mean, his face basically looked like Rocky in the first Rocky at the end of the movie. Like, you got to cut my eye. He even told his corner at one point he couldn't see out of that eye. So it was something. It was something. But you know, the event started out with all the pomp and fanfare. You had a big flyover. You had who's the country music artist did the national anthem? Zach Brown Band. They did the national anthem. You had all the walkout music. They had like an orchestra there, and they were playing their walkout music with like orchestra music. And then the event didn't end until like 12:30 this morning. So yeah, I went to bed a little late. But as soon as it was over, they had a massive fireworks display. Like, I imagine for people in DC, they were probably like, "What's going on?" That would have been like 1:30 in the morning. So, hey, America, we got to celebrate, bro.
Sunday night. Yeah, sure they were happy.
Yeah, that probably should have been more of a Saturday night. But I don't know. But like I said, NBA, the Knicks got the win. There were a lot of amazing stories that went along with that.
Why do these northeastern cities feel the need to destroy their city after they win a championship?
I don't know. It's insane.
They're stupid.
Yeah. No, and there was one video of a guy. I don't even know why his school bus was out on the street, and people totally demolished it. He's like, "Hey, you're taking from my paycheck. I got to pay for that." You know.
There were several buses out there. I don't know why there were so many buses.
Yeah, I don't either. But yeah, it's stupid. I think they said there were police officers that were injured. There was video I saw of people assaulting the police horses. It's like, what are you guys doing? Come on.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. So dumb.
They're just there to call it. They don't even care.
No. But I mean, in terms of the Knicks themselves, here you'll appreciate this. Jalen Brunson to me is such a great story. He's their point guard. He's all of 6'1". He's been one of those guys that his whole life people have always kind of discounted him, and so he won a high school state championship. Then he played at Villanova. I think they won 2 championships when he was there. Now he's on the Knicks. He had been drafted by the Mavericks, and they decided not to keep him. They let him go a couple of years ago. When the Knicks signed him, everyone was like, this is stupid. They're giving that guy way too much money. He's not that good. But he delivered New York something they haven't had in over 53 years, an NBA championship. But he is so just determined. I don't know what other word to use. And clutch. Man, he was hitting big shot after big shot. He had, I think, 27 points in the second half of Saturday's game to lead them to the victory. So, man, that was fun to watch. After the game, of course, he played for the start of his career. He played in Dallas, and this is what he had to say about his return to Texas.
I have nothing against Texas. I love Texas. I miss the Texas taxes.
Texas has no state income tax. New York, it's nearly 15%.
Wow.
So I'm sure that you feel that in your paycheck. But
yeah, I mean, I've always kind of hated the Spurs, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're more of a Mavericks guy.
No, I don't care. It's just when I was a kid, everyone liked LeBron James when he was with Cleveland.
Yeah.
This is like 2006 and 7.
Sure. 6 and 7.
And the Spurs always beat him in the finals. So kind of made us upset.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though I probably like them more now.
The Spurs?
No. Like Tim
The Spurs have a great great young team. They really do. Now, Wembanyama, I think he lost a little goodwill toward himself in this series, the way he kind of conducted himself. He kind of came across as a petulant little baby at times.
Yeah, he's mad.
And, LeBron kind of went through that a little bit too. He'll learn. He'll grow. There'll be a day where they win the championship and everyone will celebrate him. But, the bulk of their team are guys that are like 22, 23 years old. So they would seem to have a pretty good future. The Knicks have some guys that are a little bit longer in the tooth, but still really a fun team. I kind of, going in, I definitely wanted the Knicks to win because I've always kind of liked the Knicks for whatever reason. Going back to like their teams in the 80s and when they had Bernard King, that was one of my favorite teams after the Bucks. And to see, those years where they would always lose to Michael Jordan, that had to be frustrating for sure. So I was kind of rooting for them, but then the way their fans were acting, especially the way they were attacking the Spurs fans that went to games in New York, it's just idiots. So it kind of made me like, but then actually just watching the team again on Saturday, I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. Speaking of which, you see that dude? He was in New York. I think he was trying to leave the game the other night. He was wearing a Dennis Rodman Spurs jersey. Big dude, and the fans were like attacking him, and he was taking on all comers. And finally, the police got there, and they had to separate him from the fans because he was like pummeling so many of them. That was one of the viral videos going on. What would we do without the internet right now in these moments?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
So I know they were fighting each other.
Yeah. Yep. There have been all kinds of incidents like that, but stupid stuff.
Giants fans are some of the worst. Every time they come to
Eagles fans too, right?
They're just those Northeasterners, man.
Yeah, something about them. Yeah, one other sports note, kind of a big weekend for LSU baseball. As Stephen Milam announced that he's coming back, and then they got a big transfer announcement from guys that played at Tulane the last couple of years, had like 330 last year. So everyone looking at it right now is like, boy, LSU just looks stacked going into next year. So we'll see. That's kind of what people thought going into this year too. And that's another thing. I didn't even mention the College World Series is going on right now in Omaha. And that's been a lot of fun so far. By the way, Ben McDonald, he doesn't do all the games, but the games he's doing, he is so awesome to listen to. Of course, LSU fans know that because he does some of their games too. He does Baltimore Orioles games. But he was telling a story yesterday, maybe I can play it later, about when he was a freshman at the College World Series, and he gave up a walk-off grand slam home run. And kind of what that incident did to him psychologically at the time made him actually want to quit playing baseball. And he was also playing basketball at the time for LSU. And both Skip Bertman and Dale Brown called him and said, do not quit baseball. And he went to play Summer League in Anchorage that year. In the first game that he played, the opposing coach sent a lineup card over, and every name in the lineup was the guy that hit the grand slam off of him in the College World Series. Even the guy wasn't in the Summer League, but he said it kind of hit him right where it had to hit him to kind of motivate him. And he went out and pitched like not perfect game, but a complete game shutout against that team, and it kind of got him back in the right psyche again. And of course, he went on to win. He won the Golden Spikes, but was the first pick in the draft. Had a decent major league career, not really a college player. Has really parlayed that into announcing career, which has been nothing short of great. You never know. Sometimes you got to get punched in the gut. Get some perspective. All right. That's our open for today. Getting some more serious topics coming up. When we come back, I definitely want to dive into the big news that came out on Friday. If you didn't hear it, SunGas announcing that they are no longer pursuing the project over at the former International Paper Mill. So we'll have that for you and more coming up here on TalkBack.
KSYL.
This Bloomberg 1 Minute
We have a deal. The U.S. and Iran have reached an interim agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Officials are due to sign the accord this Friday. Investors are hitting the buy button, sparking a rally in stocks this morning. S&P futures are gaining more than 1%. Meantime, Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh finally steps into the spotlight. The central bank gathers this week and is widely expected to hold its benchmark rate steady on Wednesday, while waiting to see how the energy price shock ripples through the economy. His first press conference will be scoured by Wall Street for clues on what's next. And American Express has agreed to buy TripAdvisor's reservation management platform, The Fork, for $700 million, boosting its operations in Europe. The Fork connects more than 50,000 restaurants in 11 countries in Europe. Amex is a major force in the dining and hospitality industry, having acquired the restaurant and events platforms Resy and Tock. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Summer is here and fun is growing at Rapides Parish Library. Plant a seed, read. Our summer reading program has sprouted. Enjoy hands-on activities, exciting weekly entertainment, and track your reading to win cool prizes all summer. From kids to parents, everyone can dig in, grow their minds, and keep the summer slump from taking root at RPL. Visit rpl.org to see what's blooming near you and start growing today.
Good morning. Thunderstorms likely this morning. The chance for scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. Chance of rain an 80% chance. We'll see the afternoon highs near 78 degrees. Tonight, still a 60% chance of more rain. And as we look at Tuesday, thunderstorms likely a 90% chance with afternoon highs near 78. More of the same, but warmer on Wednesday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
Having to announce this is probably one of the saddest days of my 45-year career.
I know you guys have been dealing with a lot of pushback with some over the utilization of carbon capture and sequestration. How much did that factor into it?
All right, welcome back here on this Monday edition of Talkback. I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. And going into the break, I mentioned that the news came out on Friday that Sungas Renewables no longer pursuing that project at the International Paper Mill, which would have been a project to produce methanol using byproducts of the timber industry with the caveat of capturing the carbon and then having it shipped off to be stored underground somewhere else here in the States. A lot of talk back and forth over the last year about this project. We've chronicled a lot of it for you right here on Talkback. Robert Rigdon is the CEO of Sungas. We had him on the show a couple of times, and Stephen had a chance to talk with him on Friday, so let's play more of that for you.
Rigdon, that's the company over the Beaver Lake Biofuels Project at the former IP mill site in Pineville. Just hours ago, on Friday, the company announced it is halting the project in Pineville for a number of reasons. We wanted to get more clarity on exactly what that meant. So here's our interview with Mr. Rigdon.
We made a decision today. It's a deeply disappointing decision, obviously, but we made a decision today. There's multiple sort of complicated factors here involved. In general, though, navigating the regulatory framework that exists where product was being sold in Europe and incentives, that framework largely located here in the U.S., combined with timing to get project under construction to be able to achieve all of these incentives, along with other challenges around having a secure pathway to carbon capture storage. When you put these things all together, the project as an investment opportunity for raising the large equity required became less and less attractive. And we made a decision to go ahead and stop and cease the development on it. There was no one single factor that created this, is my point.
I know you guys are dealing with a lot of pushback with some over the utilization of carbon capture and sequestration. How much did that factor into it, or did it at all?
It was a factor, absolutely, but there were other factors of significant challenge as well. And so I have to be fair on that. And it's and so as these factors of uncertainty or risk get stacked onto a project like this, and the project doesn't look very attractive as an investment opportunity.
What's next for you guys? Do you plan on doing something somewhere else? What's logistically what do you have to do to, I guess, get out of Central Louisiana at this point?
Yeah, look, first let me say regarding the project Central Louisiana, we're so grateful for the support we've had from the community leadership in the state of Louisiana. It's really been amazing. So many people there in the local area have worked so hard to get this project and supported other projects like ours. So we really express our sincere thanks there. There's a number of things. It's a complex project, and we're very far down the development pathway. So we have a number of activities related to the project that we are having to stop, and so we'll be taking care of all that sort of administrative business of stopping a large project like this. And I guess your question was, what do we do after Beaver Lake? And just as a reminder, and I don't know that it was so apparent maybe to everybody, but Sungas Renewables is first and foremost a technology company. We have the leading technology developed here in the United States for conversion of materials like wind fiber feedstocks into syngas and managed energy products. And we have a number of clients around the world that are interested in moving forward with our technology. We do provide our technology to other parties who are continuing to pursue projects. And we're going to do that. And we do have opportunities in that area. Some are in the U.S. and some are in other parts of the world.
Were there any issues with the availability of 45Q tax credits?
That's another one that on the one of the factors that went into the bucket of factors that I was referring to a moment ago, Stephen. The 45D tax credit, amongst other things, was a key tax credit incentive. You have to fully qualify for a 45D to be able to do that. The project was going through the qualification process. Expect it to get fully qualified, but it hadn't really materialized yet because that process was run very slow. But this stacked up with other factors that were, unable to have certainty on that affected an investment profile. And in the case of the 45D, one of the interesting things about that is that tax credit expires in 2027. So if the project hasn't reached a state of construction that allows it to qualify for that tax credit by the end of 2027, then it wouldn't qualify. And while this project today probably theoretically would have time to do that, with these other factors involved that are keeping the project moving forward, being able to raise investment capital, we were quickly running out of time to be able to get the project into construction far enough to qualify for 45Z. And that would make investors nervous as well, because the 45D was an essential tax credit to the success of the project.
And I know that you mentioned this at the start, but you guys are probably pretty disappointed.
It's beyond, it's hard to explain how disappointed we are. Yeah. Having announced this is probably one of the saddest days of my 45-year career.
All right. So once again, that was Robert Rigdon, CEO of Sungas Renewables. Stephen's interview with him on Friday. So a couple things starting out here. Number one, Why is it always major breaking news happens on a Friday afternoon? My goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sure you had to scramble to get all that.
Well, whenever they sent it to me, I saw the email and I was like, I read it and I was like, what does this mean? I was like, there's no way. And I read it again. I was like, holy crap. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
And so I read it again to make sure I wasn't wrong. And it sure was. So tried to get the interviews after that. So that was it was really shocking, I think, to everyone who heard it.
Yeah.
And some people were shocked in a bad way. Some people were shocked in a good way. Depends on who you talk to. But it's been a controversial topic for quite some time. If you don't know, the company was utilized carbon capture and sequestration, which has been a hot button issue for a lot of people. A lot of people are against it for safety reasons, and just the premise of it is nonsensical because a lot of people don't, think climate change is a real thing, and it is based off tax incentives instead of maybe the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though that could be based off a market somewhere. But others are, they're hoping for jobs here. They're hoping to bring industry here. And you've seen a lot of stakeholders push this project forward. And we even saw some bills in the legislature to kind of curb the carbon capture industry, and none of them passed through. So when you heard this, it was just kind of shocking.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like the timing of it was quite interesting, but listening kind of closely to your interview. So some of the first reaction I heard or saw were people saying, or kind of almost blaming the anti-carbon capture crowd for this project ultimately not going through. But listening to Rigdon, I don't think that was maybe the ultimate factor. It really sounds like it was just determined to not be economically feasible for investors.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that?
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think the anti-CCS movement had somewhat
Sure.
to do with it.
Yeah.
It kind of piled on, but I don't know if it was the primary reason.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, because you kind of feel like if it was going to make a lot of money, they'd still probably do it.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because you asked him about 45Q tax credits, and he kind of rephrased the term as 45V, which I hadn't really heard of. So I looked it up quickly. The Section 45V Clean Hydrogen Production Tax Credit provides up to $3 per kilogram for clean hydrogen produced at qualifying U.S. facilities. This is something that was enacted under the Inflation Reduction Act. This 10-year incentive is determined by the life cycle greenhouse gas emissions of your production process. So, yeah. And he was saying that a lot of that would expire by the end of 2027. So if that was a key component and it didn't look like they could get this facility built in time, maybe that too really factored in.
Yep. Sounds like it was for sure.
I know you also interviewed some of the primary people with Save My Louisiana. That's also on Stephen's Facebook page. We got some calls coming in. People, if you want to talk about this and give your thoughts, we'd love to hear from you as well. But we need to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Cenla Update Plus, Facebook, and YouTube at KSYL.
A man's word should still mean something. Honesty matters. Character matters. So when John Fleming was hauled into court twice in 2 months for running untruthful ads filled with lies, and twice forced to take down the lies, that tells you everything about who Fleming really is. Fleming's lies couldn't hold up before a judge, and his lies shouldn't hold up with you. Fleming hasn't just been lying in his ads. He's been lying to cover up his liberal record. Fact. In Congress, Fleming voted against Republican border security funding. Fact. Fleming gave your tax dollars to Barack Obama to protect sanctuary cities and block the deportation of illegals. Fact. Fleming lied about his job with President Trump. Lie after lie after lie. John Fleming is a fraud who cannot be trusted. Visit FlemingIsAFraud.com. Accountability Project paid for and is responsible for this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AccountabilityProject.la.
I start every workday morning off the same way. I stop in and pick up breakfast at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express. It's convenient, quick, and oh so good. Croissants, biscuits, breakfast subs, and their hot coffee is the perfect pick-me-up. They always ask me why I'm in such a good mood when I get to work. Improve your mood. Stop by Wilmore's any weekday morning from 6 till 9 and get your day started right. That's Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express right there on the corner of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapids Road.
Hey, it's Musso. Join us for Monday's AFR presented by Relief Windows. Matt is back in the host chair. We recap a busy official visitor weekend for LSU and get you set for Saints minicamp. It's Monday's AFR 3 to 6. Alexandria's 94.7 ESPN.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, we're back, and we're talking about the announcement on Friday that SunGas Renewables is not going to pursue its project, the Beaver Lake project of the former IP paper mill in Pineville or near Pineville. So a lot of reaction to that, celebration on the side of those who were against carbon capture and sequestration. But I definitely saw a few people in the community lamenting the opportunity missed to provide more jobs in industry here in this area. So anyway, we want to hear from you, 318-442-8255 on the BOM Bank Talk Line. Let's go to the phones. Thanks for holding. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I think this is a victory for two things: the American system and Americans in general. And I want to sing the praise of those guys from Save My Louisiana. The only one I know personally is Gary Musgrove. And look, these were guys who had lives and interests, and they put everything on hold to investigate this as thoroughly as we all should have, and then to do something about it. And for those of you who don't know that name, Gary Musgrove, he and his wife Celestina, they do a lot with their church. They have children, they have grandchildren, but they're the ones that shepherded Miss Becky through her passing process. They got her set up in that nursing home. They looked after her. They visited her. These people are doing a lot of good things, but they put everything on hold for this. And I know the guy Friday that went on, first of all, I was so thankful for Stevens breaking news. That was such a relief. But the guy Friday that went on Channel 5 News that they interviewed, he said, he greatly discounted the role of Save My Louisiana and the grassroots efforts. But look, I can't think that if they expected to have the skids greased and they come right through. Those people caused them to spend a lot of money on advertisement and counter programming, and I don't think they intended to meet that kind of a pushback. So I think it played a good factor in it. And for the jobs lost, we heard it Thursday at the meeting. They provided documentation that the contractors applying for permits to do the work, they were all out of state or out of country. We were going to get some residual. We would get to basically take out the trash and we would get to bring them stuff. But the big payout, it appeared, according to the documentation presented. And look, these are all thankfully, our system allows Americans to, through the Freedom of Information Act, dig this stuff up. And I think it shows, in conclusion, the fallacy of government getting involved in business. I'm all for government using tax credits and stuff to incentivize the innovation of new technologies, cash prizes, things like that. But when they actually get involved in business, it always goes wrong. They cannot pick sides. That's not the way a republic works. We have to let the industry win the hopes, hearts, and minds of the people, and then we all get behind it, and then it's something that takes off, and we all benefit from it. But this thing, they were planning on drilling through our aquifers, not around them, and there's just no way that kind of a corrosive substance stays in they were promising to use special chromium pipes. It was eventually that stuff was going to get out, and then we would have been like that dead spot in your yard that nothing ever grows in. But anyway, thanks for letting me speak my piece. There are some great Americans that deserve our thanks. They put their whole life on hold to make our lives better. Thanks.
All right.
Y'all have a great day.
Yeah, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Speaking of which, here's Stephen's interview with 3 of the members of that Save My Louisiana group. And let me get it queued up, and here it is.
SunGas Renewables announced it is halting the Beaver Lake Biofuels project near Pineville. One of the main groups against the project, Save My Louisiana, is speaking out. The group started after projects across the state announced they would utilize carbon capture and sequestration, including the Beaver Lake project. Here's what the group's leaders had to say after the announcement.
Obviously, this is what we've been working to achieve. But that it moved so quickly was quite a surprise. It shows us that when you put some sunlight on something, there's a dramatic revealing of whether or not it can stand the scrutiny that you're putting on it.
You know, I think, Stephen, the first thing we want to do is thank the citizens out there across Louisiana that have taken a stand. People are waking up and they're starting to pay attention, and it's their voices that were heard. Mm-hmm. And so we have to keep on. Do I believe this is all over? I do not. And I think that we're going to have to stay vigilant and watch out for what's going on. And because 45Q is still alive, this battle is far from over.
Part of this was transparency. We were true. When we first found out about the Sun Gas Beaver Lake Renewable Project a year ago. Yeah, I looked at it and I said, "This is just great. This is what our economy needs." But as we got digging into it, it wasn't about methanol. It wasn't about works and jobs. It was about harvesting 45Q tax credits. And as your interview with Mr. Rigdon, that's basically what he said. If they don't have a place to put their carbon dioxide, they have no company.
It's outright what he said, and he also said that the viability, long-term viability of 45Q and 45Z was in question. And if tax subsidies are in question, and that makes you rethink whether or not you can move forward with an investment of an economic development, that tells you a lot about what this thing was relying on, which is what we've said all along.
There's no way that there should be ever a chance that private industry can take the public's property for private gain without a public purpose. So we're going to continue fighting against that until that is put back, taken out of legislation.
All right. So the three gentlemen that you heard speaking there were Colonel Mark Guillory, who the guys had on the show last Thursday, also Boom Maddox, and then Gary Musgrove. So a lot of thoughts, and we want to play you both sides, but let's go back to the phones right now. Thanks for waiting. You're on Talkback.
Look, I know y'all gonna think this is nuts. Just my brain works different than other people. I see where things are connected. This entire Sun Gas thing, the Iran war, is all connected to the Tin Man and the Wizard of Oz. You know why? In the Wizard of Oz, the Tin Man represented business. If he didn't get oil liquidity, he would freeze up. That's what it was. So right now, with the debt being what it is, U.S. debt being what it is, U.S. government needs liquidity into the system, or the system freezes up. And that's the whole Sun Gas thing. Somebody pulled the plug on this because they don't need the liquidity anymore. And the Iran war was connected to Sun Gas. So they need money pumped into their economy.
Okay. Interesting take. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
The whole thing is going to freeze up as soon. The whole thing is.
All right. Well, yeah, certainly when we look at our nation's debt, it's not exactly reassuring. But yeah, you mentioned if the Iran war is in fact coming to an end, what they're saying this has the potential to do with the strait being fully open and just kind of more access to Middle Eastern oil resources, I suppose. They're saying it could really transform the entire Middle East. We'll see. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I always say, Stephen, it's a profit deal.
Well, you got to make money.
That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we got to make some money for the station. We'll take a commercial and we'll come right back.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talk Line at 442-8255.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Cupid, reminding you to make that seatbelt click every seat, every time. It's not got a brand new dance. It's not a lot of trouble. Every time you drive, you gotta use a buckle. You gotta make it click or you'll be walking by yourself. Walking by yourself. Click it. This is Cupid reminding you to click it. Every seat, every time. Brought to you by Louisiana Highway Safety Commission.
Call A1 Pools now if you need your pool liner changed or if you want an above ground pool. A1 Pools has round.
The National Weather Service in Lake Charles has issued a flash flood warning for northern Avoyelles Parish in central Louisiana, northwestern Evangeline Parish in central Louisiana, Refuge Parish in central Louisiana until 11 a.m. Central Daylight Time. At 7:55 a.m. Central Daylight Time, Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between 1.5 and 3.5 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Hazard: flash flooding caused by thunderstorms. Source: radar. Impact: flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other poor drainage and low-lying areas. Some locations that will experience flash flooding include Alexandria, Pineville, Marksville, Glenra, Boyce, Cheneville, Alexandria International Airport, Effie, Kineston, Bordelandville, Lena, Ball, Monshire, Lecomte, Hesmer, Colon, Poland, Ruby, Libas, and Echo. Turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be aware of your surroundings and do not drive on flooded roads.
Okay, I think, we're back.
All of you out there in Colon, please be careful.
Yeah, and Glenra.
And Glenra. How does he get Avoyelles right, but can't do Glenra?
So true. Anyway, be careful out there, especially if you're going to be driving in the next 20 or 30 minutes, as we're all of a sudden getting this huge dump that Nick Mikulus has predicted. Looking at his Facebook, he said his sister-in-law got an inch of rain down in Woodworth in 20 minutes. And that's the type of rain rate we're going to be seeing the next couple of days, which is going to overcome the drainage ability of a lot of areas around town. So, what's that?
Next couple of days.
That was in Woodworth.
It's going to continue going on for the next couple of days.
Nick yesterday he made a post saying that we could see, let me see if I can find it before it cuts us off here. He's thinking we could see in some spots 15 inches of rain by Tuesday. Yeah. And then get 10 more in the next wave. Yeah. So be aware, everyone. We'll be back.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3 HD3, Alexandria. It's 8 o'clock.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Jeff Palermo. During a speaking event at the New Hampshire Institute of Politics, Louisiana U.S. Senator John Kennedy says donors to his 2028 re-election campaign have approached him about running for president, and he has not ruled out the idea. LSU political science professor Robert Hogan says a Kennedy presidential campaign has a chance to gain traction because he agrees with many of President Trump's priorities. But Hogan says it's hard to say who Republicans will support post-Trump.
It's hard to predict what the primary electorate, those people voting in the nomination contest and the presidential contest, would be looking for.
Louisiana came in 19th in Wallen Hub's ranking of the best states for military retirees, climbing 7 spots from last year. State Department of Veterans Affairs Secretary Charlton McGinley says there are jobs here for post-military life.
Hyundai's here, Meta's here, the initiatives that are going on in oil and gas.
I think you're taking those skills that the military gave you as a veteran now and saying, I can put those to good work.
LRN. The state's new litter reporting hotline has yielded some positive results.
The Louisiana Litter Hotline launched last September, and since then it's led to dozens of citations being issued.
We have 10 illegal dumping cases that are going before the DA and about 50 simple littering citations written.
Susan Russell, the executive director of Keep Louisiana Beautiful, says the most common violations involve fast food bags, drink cups, cigarette butts, and other trash thrown from vehicles. The hotline was created with the passage of legislation last year, which expands the authority of Louisiana State Park Rangers to investigate litter laws anywhere in the state. I'm Andrew Greenstein.
Nearly the entire state is under a flood watch. Several rounds of widespread heavy rain are expected now through early Wednesday. Rainfall amounts 3 to 6 inches is expected, with localized heavier amounts of up to 10 inches are possible through Wednesday, and more rain is in the forecast for Thursday and Friday as well. Louisiana Radio Network.
Problems. Everybody hates them, but everybody's got them. And now that it's getting hot again, you need to know about Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Got a cooling problem? Call Southern Air. Plumbing or drain problem? It's Southern Air again. Your power's out and you need a generator? Guess who? And keep those problems away all summer long with a system tune-up. Keep your family comfortable. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling now at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Good morning. Thunderstorms likely this morning and a chance of some scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. Chance of rain an 80% chance. We'll see the afternoon highs near 78 degrees. Tonight, still a 60% chance of more rain. And as we look ahead to Tuesday, thunderstorms likely, a 90% chance with afternoon highs near 78. More of the same, but warmer on Wednesday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson. It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
All right, we're back for hour number 2 of Talkback here on your Monday morning. I'm Al Quartermont, along with Stephen Maxwell. And as mentioned, going into the top of the hour news, we're expecting a lot of rain this week. Nick Mikulus says that this initial wave that we'll see between today and tomorrow is probably going to be 6 to 10 inches worth of rain. Some spots maybe 3 to 5, some 6 to 10. He said there's even the potential for some spots to stay up to 15 inches. Yikes. He's saying plan on 6 to 10. While 3 to 5 is most likely. Then we'll have a second wave, which could be a tropical system or an unnamed rainmaker that could cause some issues later in the week. And if that happens, it could be another 3 to 6 inches or even 6 to 10 inches on ground that's already going to be saturated. Remember a couple months ago when everyone was lamenting that we were having a drought in this area? Safe to say that that is long gone. And now I really don't remember, and maybe some of you do. I can't remember about a 6 or 8 week time period that we've seen where we've just gotten so much rain. It just feels like it rains all the time. And for some of us folks that live out in the country, you kind of have, some gravel or dirt roads. It makes it even tougher because it has nowhere to go and you have a lot of standing water and mud that you're driving through. So anyway, just be careful out there this morning. I know we're getting a lot of localized heavy rain right now, depending on where you're at. Dave Grayson was in here early this morning dealing with some technical issues, and he said he was just ready to walk out of the building, and the pouring just started. So if you didn't hear, we have a flash flood warning for Avoyelles, Evangeline, and Rapides parishes until 11 this morning. As I'm looking at the radar map, you just have these cells that are kind of coming across the area. So it's going to be rain, as they say on Family Guy, Stephen. It's going to rain.
It's going to rain. Back to you. It's coming down pretty hard right now.
Yeah. So you might be doing some flood stories the next couple days.
Oh, yay. I hope not. It'd be a pretty awful thing, especially if it's in your house, right?
From our time at the TV station, weather stories are something that we definitely became accustomed to. I don't know why it was, but during the time period that you and I were there, 2015 to 2021, that was like the most wild period of weather I think ever. We had so much. We started off, early 2016, where you had all that massive flooding up in the Grand Parish area. Well, it happened down here, but more in Grand Parish, where you had like 165 underwater, that Fishville area. And then I think it was that next summer we had all that flooding down in Baton Rouge, where, a lot of homes were destroyed. We had that rain and flood out in, remember, like Burr Ferry area, Vernon Parish, where those houses went underwater.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
And you would always send me to every weather story.
We had Lydia then, too, that was covering.
But I would still have to go.
Yeah. Remember her going out on a boat with a guy? Like he was like shooting snakes. Oh, man. Of course, we had hurricanes. We had tornado. We had the Halloween night tornado that tore up a lot of Pineville, the bowling alley.
When I would apply for jobs,
Yeah.
TV jobs, I would say extensive weather coverage.
Yeah. And then, of course, all the hurricanes, too. So.
And my other market was Panama City, which is...
Yeah. Then we had the ice
Full of
storm
weather.
of early 2021. I had to come pick you up at your house because you couldn't drive through the winter.
There's no way I'm driving down Booner Miller as a Southerner when it's iced over. There's no way. No way.
I was the official taxi for everyone, having had extensive weather driving.
I was hoping you would just let me stay there. But...
No chance, bro. If we're gonna suffer, you're gonna suffer.
That was way out of the way too.
It was. Yeah. The worst was when I had to pick up our producer who lived out near LSUA. That was the only time I got a little nervous because she lived down a country road, and it was like where it was just ice upon ice, and it was slushy on top and then slick on. So I was a little nervous on that one. But
speaking of nervous, I went up, covered the Grand Parish flooding. I went out by myself, and I don't know if I was near Alla or something. I don't know, but I was driving on this road, and you could literally. I was near the bridges. You could just see the water creeping up.
Oh.
And it was just like following me as I was driving out.
Oh.
It was like off a movie or something. I was like, ooh, I got to get out of here. So it was bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Trying to get that good shot.
It's like in Star Wars where they're like trying to make it out. And then.
Or we were at.
And go hyperspace.
We were at Holly Beach for Hurricane Harvey.
I remember that.
And
because I didn't want y'all to go, if you remember.
And we did some live shots at the beach. And then it started coming in, and I was like, uh-oh. And we were like in Hackberry in a torrential rainstorm. I was getting nervous. So I thought we were about to get closed in or something. So, but Brooke and Mark, who was with me, they're like, it wasn't that bad. I was like, okay.
You needed to have photographer Kyle with you. He was the master of dealing with weather.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go back to the phones. BOM Bank Talk Line 318-442-8255. And good morning, you're on Talkback.
Hey, Shannon McManus posted a very interesting thing on his Facebook page. He took a screenshot of Darrell Basco's statement after the announcement of the Beaver Lake thing. Anyway, Darrell Basco made a very long, rambling, offensive statement about it, and I mean, it was very disrespectful to the citizens. First of all, he said every redneck with an internet connection has become a geologist, and he said he took geology 101 and 102 in college, so I guess he considers himself an expert. He said he learned about the rock formations they were going to put the CO2 in. So anyway, I guess he considers himself a more of an expert than Brad LeBlanc, who spent over 45 years in the oil and gas industry. He's a well-established geologist and geoscientist. And every redneck, like Dr. Huner, I guess he considers Dr. Huner a redneck. Boo Maddox a redneck with internet. Colonel Mark Guillory. Then he another made a statement called the Citizens Peanut Gallery for pushing back on all this, and making their positions known.
Yeah, you're a citizen, you're a regular caller. I mean, how did that post make you feel?
Well, I think I have every right. I was a dishonorably discharged veteran. I spent 35 years, had a successful career in a meaningful occupation. And to be discounted as a redneck with an internet connection and part of the peanut gallery, that's very disrespectful and contemptuous of citizens. I went to 5 of those presentations. I didn't see any
utilize it. Or you can go to their Facebook page, or Nick's, I should say, Facebook page, meteorologist Nick Miculius, also sunlawweather.com. Need all of that the next couple days.
Yeah, and I actually, when all that stuff happened with Facebook the other day, I just sent out a notification like, "Hey guys, Facebook's down," and that's I hate depending so much on them, but yeah, it's important to have the app, because if everything crashes down, we can go live there. We can keep you informed,
and on YouTube as well.
I'm there. Yeah, I'm everywhere.
You are. You are. Are you going to be at the NARBIA meeting today?
No.
Okay.
Tom did not remind me of that one. I actually, I had some stuff going on. Now it's all going to be weather, and I'm sure I'll have to print some shirts at some point. But yeah, that's no, I will not be making it today. But you guys eat that delicious lunch for me and tell everyone I said hello.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate you.
Talk to you later.
All right, that's meteorologist Nick Miculius, and we'll be right back.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at